Happy Friday, everyone. Episode 15 of Teen Talks here this morning. I did miss last week. I apologize for that. I've been having, I'm sure as you know, like the craziest few weeks ever, and I'm a little late this week. However, we're here now. So last week I had my big exciting online book launch. I've sold over 50 copies so far, which is to me really great and successful. I didn't have a particular goal in mind. I just knew I wanted to impact as many people as I could. So for being about 5 days in, I'm really happy with all of you that have purchased and donating to the homework project in doing so. So I've been able to see that lots of you have grabbed a Kindle copy. So if so, and you've been able to read for the past week, let me know what you think. Go on to Amazon, leave a review, drop me a message. For those of you that ordered your hard copies, I hope you get them today before the weekend so you have something to read over your morning coffee over the weekend. So I've got a lot of topics that teens want me to cover, so I'm just going to start checking them off the list each week, and I'm sure they'll keep coming, which is really great. The one that I want to cover today is I've had a couple of teens, older teens in particular, ask me, how do I get around not caring what other people think? And I have to be honest and say that it's a daily struggle and a daily choice as well. So for me, it's a lot of personal development in terms of reading and listening to podcasts, choosing the right authors, the right speakers to really motivate myself and remind myself that what I choose to do each day is for me and not for anybody else. And so if I want to show up and be that best version of myself and be truly authentic about who I am and what I'm trying to accomplish and what my goals are, I can't let other people's opinions get in the way of me. And that's good or bad. I remember my yoga teacher training, we were taught that even if somebody compliments you, that's still their opinion. And so you can accept that, but then let it go. And that's goes the same way for somebody who has a negative thing to say to you or negative criticism. So it's about how you choose to take on what other people serve to you. So in terms of them wanting to know why I don't care about what other people think of me, that's because they've been seeing what I've been up to and have been noticing that, maybe I'm putting myself out there, and that can be really scary in terms of other people's judgments. Or in the terms of, a lot of my past students just think it's really crazy that I left my teaching job to just go pursue some travel and self-development and really focus on what it is that I want to achieve. And, how did I do that when a lot of people thought maybe it was not the right decision? So I've been doing a lot of reading in the last, years, but in the last few months, really focusing on self-development. And so if you've never heard of Mark Manson, he wrote the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fudge. I'm going to say fudge, since we've got, youth on here watching, but you can understand what that's replacing. And he talks about how it's not valuable to not care what other people think, but choosing how to react to their actions or their words, and what it is that you should take on about caring. And so I've made a little list that I think will be important for teenagers especially, and then adults obviously can take this on as well. So things that I believe that you shouldn't care about as a teenager, or a person as a whole, but as a teenager, especially in school. The first one that I want to touch on is other people's grades. So don't compare yourself to anyone else in your class. And I always made this a really important rule in my classroom. So teachers, if you're paying attention, always hand tests back with grades down so that nobody can peek over and see what somebody else got and compare and judge and that sort of thing. And I always had a rule that we weren't allowed to talk about our grades in my class. If you're really close with your friends and outside in the hallway you want to discuss what you two made and it's comfortable and you feel confidential, that's fine. But I never want to make any students feel bad about their grade, and no sort of gloating for those that, always making the hundreds. And those students that are always making the hundreds most likely deserve that. They earn that and they study and they achieve that. However, just not making somebody else feel down about their grade. So that's really important, just handing tests back or assessments of some sort with the grades facing down. Conversation's over. We don't talk about it unless you want to come talk to me or your teacher one-on-one. Other things that you should not care about are other people's lives. So their family situation, who they live with at home, what the structure of their family looks like, whether they have one mom, two mom, no mom, that sort of thing. It has no effect on your personal life, so it doesn't matter. We should not care about anybody else's finances. So adults, that's really important too. Try not to compare yourself if you've got some sort of like financial debt or crisis, credit card issues. Not comparing yourself to your neighbor that might not seem like they have those issues. We never really know what goes on behind closed doors. So yeah, just being really mindful of that other people's financial status has no true effect on you. If you want to change the situation that you're in, you wake up and you start to make those changes, putting yourself out there and start crushing some goals. Relationship status. It should not matter to you what anybody else's relationship status is. If they are single, married, widowed, divorced, married to two people, one person, a man, a woman, it truly does not matter. It has actually no effect on you. So start to let that go. Somebody else's sexuality. So if somebody is identifying as heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, transgendered, maybe they're not associating with anything, they're not putting a label on themselves, it does not matter to you. It truly does not matter. If they are your partner, if they are your son, your daughter, your parent, your friend, your student, all that matters is that you support them so that they feel comfortable and happy. Things that you should care about as a teenager, as a human being, as an adult. You should care about how your personality represents you and how you show up presently to those around you on a day-to-day basis. So really noticing if you are positive, if you are being truthful, if you're being honest, so that people, when they describe you and they're being true to what they would describe about you, they're positive traits. So just making sure that you show up as a really like authentic, great human being. You should care about your intuition, so really listening to your gut feeling and not listening to what others have to say. You should care about your creativity, your friend choices. So teenagers, this is huge. There's a lot to be said about your circle of friends. So oftentimes, I don't know the exact saying, but there's some sort of saying along the lines of like, your friends say more about you than you. So just be cognizant of that. If you are hanging around with people that are constantly making bad choices, that don't represent what it means to be a good, truthful, kind human being, then that's reflective of you if you're choosing to spend your time with them. And so there's a lot to be said about the 5 immediate people that you have in your circle and in your life and how they influence you and how they affect you. And I've really been learning a lot about that in the last few months, really just pushing away people that they don't reflect well on me, and therefore I don't want that in my circle. So yeah, just letting go of people that when you surround yourself with them, they're not lifting you up and not reflecting well on you and who you really are. You should care about your education. You should care that if you are in Canada, that it is free to you, that you have that opportunity and that availability to have an education. I'm not saying that everybody needs to go to post-secondary. I'm not talking about education in the sense of where it takes you later in life. I'm talking about the here and the now. In your junior high school years, you should care that you get to show up and sit at the desk every day and move around and have teachers that care about you and have knowledge put into your brain that is truly valuable and important for you. If you have a job, a part-time job, a full-time job, you should care about it. If you don't love your job, then as I've mentioned this in my book, if you don't enjoy the people you work with and the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, get out. Like, get out yesterday. It's truly not worth your time to spend any more time there. So having said that, closing this off for today, I read this little quote, this one-liner that I think is really great. Stay close to people that feel like sunshine. So people that are really warming, when you're around them, you just like feel like you just want to have a big hug from them. Those are the people that you want to have in your life. And if people feel cold and edgy, just let them go and don't care what they think about you. Try not to care what anybody thinks about you. So if you can wake up every day and tell yourself that you are great and that you're going to achieve good things and that you know what you're doing is going to make a difference in the world, then it will. So a couple of things to close off today's Teen Talk. If you have not checked out my website yet, www.nmcclellan.com, you can get the first two chapters of my book for free on there. You can sign up for any yoga programs or workshops. You can have me at your school or your conference convention to be speaking about what it is that I'm doing in this work of mindfulness and yoga with youth. Teen Talks are all listed there as well, so if you've missed some in the past. And just another really big thank you to the Lululemon team here in Victoria, as they granted my homework project yesterday $2,500. So next June there is going to be a winning applicant that is going to get to go travel wherever she would like and get her yoga certification. So school administrators, if you are watching this and you want me to come in and talk about that scholarship fund, if you know that there's a girl that wants to travel, she wants to get her yoga training, she's going to make this amazing difference in the world and create this beautiful ripple effect, then just reach out to me and we can talk about how I can come in and present the scholarship fund to your students. I hope that everybody has a great weekend. It's beautiful here in Victoria. It has been for the past 2 months that I've lived here. Really looking forward to the next few weeks and seeing how this book rolls out for you and maybe how it makes a difference in your day-to-day life, how maybe you want to change some things that you're doing in your workplace or in your home or just for yourself. So I hope that everybody has an awesome weekend and I look forward to coming back to you next week. Thanks. Bye.